Hey, how's it going? Joy here, wishing you all a happy new year. Hope everything is going all right for you so far. I mean, today's the second day, but still, I'm pretty hopeful for the future myself. Midnight is right around the corner. And I'm pretty excited for it. The one thing I'm not so excited for is how my preferred spec is going to play. We're going to talk about that today. So, spoilers, this is not going to be a very positive video. But I feel it's important to be honest. And there's going to be nothing but honesty when I say that Marksmanship Hunter is utter dog water in Midnight. Now, I'm saying in Midnight as if Midnight's already out. We still have a couple of months for that. But the free patch is coming out this month on the 18th, which means that this beta test is no longer going to be relevant. All of the Midnight changes will be moving on to live servers. And there's going to be a number of changes. And almost all, in fact, I am just going to flat out say all of the changes Hunter has received, Marksmanship Hunter specifically, is really bad. Like all of them. Every single one. Other than that, I am excited for Midnight. I think the campaign is going to be a lot of fun. I think housing is already a lot of fun. And it's only going to get better. I think delves with Valura is going to be really fun. I'm going to miss Bran a bit. I don't know if I'm going to miss him a lot, but I'm going to at least miss him a bit. I can feel like Midnight's going to be a good time. But man, did they murder Marksmanship Hunter. So let's go ahead and talk about it. We're going to cover the talents. And I also have the current talents for live open in another tab here. So we'll be looking in between them and kind of using them to prove my points. So let's go ahead and open this up. I want to make this a little bit less ranty than my last video. That's kind of the ultimate goal here. So the big problem with the base hunter tree is that they moved around things in a way that makes no sense whatsoever. It's not cohesive. It's a mess. You have filler talents in here like combat experience, precision strikes, which are just do more damage, which you're not going to skip. Why would you? You have things like improved aspect of cheetah and concussive shot moved more in the way to a point you have to take them. Like in live, you can skip concussive shot. Not that you would necessarily want to skip improved aspect because cheetah is very handy. Having that off cooldown as often as possible is important. Serrated tips, of course, is one of the most important hunter talents you will get as marksman. And in fact, in general, like very important. But now you also have these things kind of in the way. You have things like improved feign death, which as far as I can tell is purely a PvP talent, and not a very good one at that. Synergizes with survival tactics, I suppose. And misdirection. Now, I've never really used misdirection. I never really found a need to in the content I play. I don't really run M+. And I know it's more useful in M+, because aggro is more of a problem in there. But I don't do M+, so I never had a problem with aggro. So never had to use misdirect. But now I need it if I want to get camouflage. And it's just like, what? Why? This was in a perfectly fine place. Why did we have to reorganize this in such a bizarre way? Why did we need these? Like, it's not like Hunter didn't have, filler talents previously. Like, you had Trigger Finger. That's a, carryover. So it works a little bit different. Doesn't improve pet attack speed anymore. And you have Touch of Grass, which is a 2-pointer. They have a lot of 2-pointers. Like, improve feign death. As I mentioned previously, in addition to not being very useful, is a 2-pointer. So that's more talent points you got to burn. And it's just a lot of things are just moved in really weird places. Scout's Instincts, which I'm not even sure even does anything, now in smack dab in the middle of the tree. You're going to have to take it if you want to access the right side, which you're going to have to because Binding Shot's in there. You're not skipping that, I would hope. Improved aspect of turtle, must have for Intimidate. More filler in the form of shell wall, which I'm not really sure what the purpose is, because the only way you're taking damage if you're in aspect of the turtle is through dots. And that's it. Tranquilizing Shot, which was originally in a very convenient place where it was very easy to grab. You didn't need to grab it, but you can, and it wasn't much of a problem. Now shoved all the way over here on the left, alongside of Kindling Flare, which is still a very useless talent. And it's like these are all kind of in the way. I would love to pick up Pathbinding. I just don't have the points to burn anymore. Because, you know, the must-have, can't skip, do more damage or else talents are right here. Everything is just moved away around in a way that it's less... I guess it flows a lot worse than it does in live. Like, let's go ahead and take a look at the other talent tree currently in live. Right here. So this is a replica of my spec in lives right now. And here's what I mean. Like, you go down the middle. Oh, you have Tar Trap. Oh, you have Tranquilizing Shot. That's cool. Oh, Entrapment's right here. Oh, Survival of the Fittest is right here. And that just flows into Padded Armor. And that just flows into Intimidation. It's like everything feels a lot more natural of a flow. And then you had specific utility abilities like Misdirection and Scare Beast. They were accessible. And you wouldn't have to go that far out of your way to get them. But everything just flows a lot more cleanly, I feel, through this talent tree. So Survival or Roar of Sacrifice is not a endpoint talent, which I feel like is a better choice. But no, it just feels like a mess of a tree for no real gain. Now for the things that were cut out of the tree. And there's been a number of things cut out, really important things. You may recall on that previous tree, we had things like Explosive Shot, High Explosive Trap, Scatter Shot. They're all gone. Entrapment, gone. Tar Trap is now a choice talent for Scare Beast, so you only can have one or the other. You can't have both anymore. Why? And like you looked in the previous tree, Intimidate flowed into Territorial Instincts. Wasn't a choice talent. Wasn't a problem. Now it's a choice talent where you can only get this or Guttural Roar. And Guttural Roar is really bad. So if you want your singular stun to be on the same level as like Hammer of Justice and Asphyxiate, I guess you don't have a choice but to, you know, take another choice talent for something that shouldn't be a choice talent. Same thing for over here. Tar-coated bindings. Or horsehair tether. Now, to be fair, this used to be survival only. It used to be Packmaster, I believe. But now it's a choice talent here. So again, one or the other. Do you want more stun or do you want a really good CC option? Well, it was a good CC option before High Explosive Trap was removed. So now Binding Shot's a lot harder to proc. Your tank has to work really closely with you and hopefully it doesn't inconvenience anyone else. They removed a lot of CC. And you may have noticed also that they removed Death Blow and Kill Shot from over here. Those are now in the Marksman tree. I don't really know why, because every spec used Kill Shot in some form. And it wasn't like a useless talent. Like every spec had a few talents that benefited off Kill Shot. I think it's kind of important for some of those. I don't have as much experience in Beast Mastery or Survival, but I know they used it. This whole thing is just a complete mess, and honestly, I'm not sure why it was changed so much to begin with. It just doesn't flow as nicely, and you have going all over the place with these mandatory talents. Like, this is just naturally drifting you to the left. And of course, you need to come over here for serrated tips. You won't skip that. Like, why are these so out of the way? And you have trash like this just sitting here. This isn't trash, but I just don't have the talent points for it. And if I didn't mention it previously, Roar of Sacrifice has been horribly gutted. He now only reduces damage by 15%. No longer provides immunity to crits. It's on a 2-minute cooldown for some reason. Not really sure why, but it's really bad. This stacks with Tenacious, so I'm using it. Also, it's one less button to push. I don't know, man. I just feel like the talent tree was fine as it was. I just don't know why this whole change was made. And the fact that kill shot is no longer baseline would be a problem. But we'll go over why that's not a problem here in a bit. Let's look at marksmanship. Really, marksmanship's tree hasn't been changed all that much. At least on paper. How it has been changed is mechanics. So streamline completely gone. So let's look at the old tree again real quick. If OBS decides to cooperate, I don't know why it's doing this as often as it is. There you go. I knew you could do it. Streamline. This was one of the biggest changes. So the gimmick behind Marksman is that you build up stacks of streamline with your abilities. And whenever you had 2 stacks of streamline, you would cast aim shot, which would give you 2 stacks of precise shots. And then you spent those precise shots on either arcane shot, multi-shot, or kill shot, because kill shot, again, you benefit off headshot, which is a big talent. This was one of the biggest changes as well, because kill shot benefiting off of precise shots, even at 25% effectiveness, was huge. It was a hard hitting ability. It hit like a monster truck whenever you got a death blow block, even if you were playing a sentinel instead of Dark Ranger. And that's how the flow of the spec went. And it was really good because then you also had things like improved streamline, which improved the speed of your aim shot. Because aim shot has a 3-second cast by itself. You're not ever gonna spend 3 seconds casting aim shot. Actually, you're gonna spend 1 moment casting aim shot for that long, and that's at the start of an encounter, like a raid encounter. But that's it. Outside of that, you're never spending 3 seconds. And you had all these other talents to help improve that cast time to near instant, like during True Shot, Tensile Bowstring, improved streamline. You're shooting aim shots like pew, 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 like you're snapshotting left and right. Mobs are going down like nothing. It's great. Feels really good. Feels really responsive. It's really fun. You know, if I didn't care about the spec so much, I wouldn't be making this. But let's go back to live. Or not live, but beta. Streamline is gone, as you've seen. And since explosive shot is gone, so are its respective talents. They're completely gone. So now aim shot has a 2.5 second by default cast speed. And that's really bad. It used to be to 3 seconds, and that was just flat out unplayable. I think that was the state marksmanship was in when I made that other video. It's now 2.5 by default. And I think it benefits off haste, so it's 2.1 now. It's still really bad. Over 2 seconds of a cast time just does not feel good, especially when it's your major ability. Like, this is what the entire spec revolves around, aim shot. Rapid fire does less damage. Arcane shot does a lot less damage unless you build for it specifically as I have here. You now have to take an AoE talent even if you're going to single target build. I went with Hydra. You can really pick either one. It's real annoying that trick shot still requires a setup with multi-shot, which, by the way, multi-shot really bad. It does no damage. Even as Sentinel, it does no damage. You don't get the little exploding thing that you get in live right now with multi-shot. And it's really frustrating to me because Marksmanship Hunter seems to be the only spec that doesn't have like just an on-demand AoE outside of volume, which is a pretty big cooldown. Like, I play a lot of other classes right now. I think my warband is, of course, my Hunter Gua. I have a Fury Warrior. I have a Distro Warlock, and Warlock's going to come up a bit more often here in just a bit. And Frosty K. And they all have, like, AoE on demand. Like, if I want them to do AoE, they can just do it. No questions asked. Meanwhile, if I want to do any respectable AoE that's not just, like, multi-shot spam, I have to first build up precise shots, cast multi-shot, and then I can use trick shots. While we're talking about bloat, you know, we could maybe do something a bit more efficient. Maybe something a bit more streamlined. That's really a big reason why I went aspect to Hydra, because I just want that AoE while having that single target focus, but, you know, it's only 2 targets. I believe this is a new one. I can't remember. I can actually check, can't I? I have that ability. It's not a new one. But no, I got this. There's a reason for that, because I don't need any of this. We'll talk about these changes in detail, because this is a very major change. Outside of that, a lot of similarities in the past. On target has been heavily nerfed. Used to be 4% that could overlap upon itself after consuming Spotter's Marks. Spotter's Mark is completely unchanged, by the way. It is still a proc. That's going to be very relevant here shortly. But no, it is now just a flat 2% haste buff. Not very good. Much worse than it is in live right now. Obsidian Arrowhead, still really bad, so we're not going to worry about that. Kill shot. No, that's the damage it does. It's really bad. That is really bad damage. Don't worry, we're going to talk about Black Arrow too. But oh, this is really bad. What's even worse is that headshot has been completely changed. It no longer provides its own benefit at all. It now stacks upon itself. Every time you cast kill shot / Black Arrow, you will increase the damage you do with both those abilities by 2% up to 20%. First, 20% is not a very high boost. It's really not. It's a relatively minor boost in the grand scheme of things. But the fact that you have to build up to it is even worse. But the worst part of it is that it stacks on the enemy. So as soon as that enemy dies, you lose all of your stacks. And you can't use them for anything else. I think they should stack on you. So then you can refresh the buff by casting kill shot again. Like, make it like last for 10 seconds or something. But nope, you made it stack on the enemy. So every new enemy you hit with kill shot, you have to build those stacks up again. It's really bad. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to use this in M+ at all. Because, as soon as a trash mob dies, you're going to have to build up stacks again to make your kill shots. It's not even respectable. Like 20% of this is not much. Other talents useless. Death Blow, still basically the same, but you don't have that extra talent where if you oh shoot, what is it called? No, improved Death Blow. Yeah, you don't have improved Death Blow anymore. Death Blow is now a marksman talent. You know, instead of being over here, it's now taking up one of your major talent points. And it's not even as good. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look at improved Death Blow here on the live talents. It is right here. I forget they switch sides. Improved Death Blow. So aim shot has a 15% chance and rapid fire has a 25% chance. And it improves kill shot on top of it. That's just gone. They just cut that completely out. I'm not entirely sure why. So that only applies to aim shot. Rapid fire doesn't proc it. Now, that's a different story of Dark Ranger. We'll talk about that more when we get to that. And then you get to the endpoint talents. Double tap is now a must-have. Of how slow aim shot is now, you need to make the most out of those aim shots. Now, normally, I would not be running this. Well, it's actually spec dependent. Incendiary ammunition and bullet storm are still really good. I would recommend that. Unmatched precision, 40% more precise shot damage. Arcane shot has also been neutered, but there is one circumstance where it's actually pretty okay. We'll see that here in a bit. We have a new tree, or a new branch of the tree, on the right-hand side, below equals accuracy, which you still can't really take, not reliably. You have focus fire, which increases the damage of the next rapid fire by 20%. Whenever surging shots reduces its cooldown, which is not going to be very often because you're casting a lot less aim shots. And then unload, which is handy if you are Dark Ranger, but not overly so. It doesn't benefit off precise shots, nor does it consume precise shots, so 100 effectiveness is a bit of a lie, a bit misleading. But this has some interesting effects with Black Gear. We'll see that here in a bit. And the Apex talents. You know, these were sold up. These are supposed to be big, game-changing talents that is supposed to bring so much cool stuff to your spec. So what did they do for marksmanship? Take aim, more rapid fire damage. Okay. More cooldown reduction on aim shot, which I don't think we really need, but sure. You know, we have steady shot. We have all the cooldown reduction we ever need, in addition to building up our focus. Like, I don't want this, but I kind of have to take it. Because, you know, no scope is not a very useful talent. Then we got take aim, which improves the critical strike damage of aim shot by 50% of your critical strike chance. So we're still taking all the crit. Every single bit of crit we need to max out entirely. And gives a minor bonus to all the other ranged abilities. And then we get the final Apex talent, which is aim shot always critically strikes. So we're not getting crit just to gain crit shots anymore. We're getting crit just because aim shot does more damage. You may as well call it chaos shot, right? Like we're just making it chaos bolt. This is all just chaos bolt. That's all this Apex thing is doing, giving us chaos bolt. And now my Destro Warlock, let me tell you, I can cast chaos bolts a lot faster than I can cast aim shots in this beta. Like, it's 1 second cast time. It's like chaos bolt. I get 15 soul shards consumed. I cast a super fast chaos bolt. That summons a demon that also casts chaos bolts. It's just chaos bolts all over the place. And meanwhile, I'm sitting here plotting with a 2.1 second cast time for the same thing. Also, let's not forget all the utility a Warlock brings. They get an AoE stun. They get fears. They get whatever CC their demon wants to bring. They get Mortal Coil. They still get access to an interrupt. They bring health stones. They can summon groups. Like, they bring a lot of utility. Warlocks still come along on raids because they have that summon portal. Like, that's a guaranteed slot just for that convenience alone. I can't do that on a warlock. Hell, I'm going to have to hoof it there, much like everyone else. And I'm just bringing an inferior chaos buff. Like, whoopee. There's a few things I forgot to mention. Volley kind of replaces explosive shot by granting lock and load, but it's every 45 seconds. The only reason I'm not using it is because currently in this beta, there's no way to easily aim it. So if you're unaware, I play on controller, and I play on a moderately higher end stuff. Like, I got ahead of the curve. I got Kavisa down, 1800 plus in PvP. Like, I'm able to play the game at a decent level on the controller. And I feel like I could push higher. Like, I'm really comfortable playing on controller. Like, it's second nature to me now. There's no easy way to aim volley on controller right now, which is really weird to me. Like, I'm going to go on a mini tangent here. Some classes can just target an enemy and focus an AoE on them. Why can't everyone? And you can't tell me the function's not built in, because you play on the single button rotation. It has things like volley on the rotation, and it just instantly casts on an enemy. So every class can do it. Like, it's a thing they can do. They just haven't programmed it in to be able to do that beyond the single button rotation. There's some add-ons, like console port, which I use on live right now, where it'll automatically set the cursor to where an enemy is, what your target is, and cast an AoE on them. Insanely helpful. But I don't know what the state of add-ons are going to be in Midnight. Neither does Blizzard by the look of it, to be honest. So I don't know if that's going to work in the future. But you should just be able to target an enemy and cast this. I shouldn't have a reticle. The reticle is old news. We shouldn't have to do that anymore. If we're talking about simplifying and cutting bloat, which, if you haven't caught on, they haven't really done that. At least not for marksmanship. They cut out the useful things, but we still have some filler talents, and we have things like Eagle's Eye, I guess. And technically, you can cast Explosive Shot salvo. As you can see, Explosive Shot damage has been completely neutered. It is really weak now. Doesn't have any synergies. It's just more AoE damage for AoE heavy builds. Woohoo. So let's talk about the hero specs. Dark Ranger is going to be, bar none, the worst spec in the game for DPS. You're okay for the first 20% of a fight and the last 20% of a fight. Beyond that, no. Because if you want to make the most out of Black Arrow, you need to go down this bridge. So let's do that real quick. So we got our training dummies here. I went here to Thunder Bluff to avoid, crowded Orgrimmar. So let's go ahead and open up on this guy. Got a Black Arrow. Black Arrows are important because you need... Oh, wait. I'm a silly. I died for his turn. Hold on a second. We need to get this. That's also very important. What did I do to get that? I actually forgot how I even had the points to be able to do that. I guess I can't get that after all. Hang on. Headshot, Death Blow. Yeah, we need to get that. Beyond that, sure. Let's try that again. It's just so slow. Also, that volley from the set bonus. I have the, I'm fully decked out in test gear. So you may notice there's not a lot of death blow points. To get one for rapid fire. But that seems to be the only source, huh? Let's look at this back. So you may recall, if you don't recall, I will show you shortly, that Dark Ranger had a talent to allow you to get death blow procs from auto shots. That's gone. Instead, you have things like, hang on. Oh, here we go. This is what replaced it. Aim shot's chance to grant death blow is increased by 10%. Rapid fire has a 100% chance to grant death blow. There's two problems with this. One, aim shot, you're only casting one aim shot every 2.1 seconds, at least for me. So a 20% proc rate is not as impressive as it sounds. It procs just as often as lock and load. And rapid fire is on a 20-second cooldown. So that's the only time you're getting, death blows. It's when you cast rapid fire. Now, sometimes rapid fire gets off a cooldown, but again, you're casting less aim shots because it's so slow now. So it's not something you're going to have to rely. You're going to be able to rely on. The big change it got is that you get a dark minion. And you also get Wailing Arrow. Wailing Arrow's back. That was in the first season of The War Within. It was an alright ability. Did a lot of damage. Let's go ahead and show that off. So we have to cast True Shot.
I can't drink anymore.
Really shot has a cast. And I don't understand. By the way, conductor shots on the base. Then goes for a hamstring, to be honest. The problem is, once you're out of that, 20% range, I don't know why I'm shots for kill shots. That's not important. Problem is, once you're out of that 20% range, a kill shot and by association, Black Arrow, it's a forgettability. It's so slow. And I've made it as fast as I can. About, sacrifice. Well, you gotta build a lot of stuff. The big problem with Dark Ranger is that you live or die by death blow procs. And now that death blow is a blessing, either every 20 seconds or whenever the gods decide that you deserve death blow, it is just bad. We don't have explosive shot as filler anymore either. So you're just sitting there hard casting weaker aim shots for nothing. For a 20% chance of getting death blow.
I can't drink anymore. I can't drink anymore yet.
Look at that. Casting Black Arrows left and right. But not even at 10 stacks yet of headshot. We'll get there. Don't worry. Hang on. 7 seconds. Well, 3 seconds now. Yep. Yeehaw. 9 stacks. Let's go. I got 13 seconds before we can get another stack on there. Boy, howdy. It's going to be exciting. Here it comes. Oh, we got it early. It's like Christmas. It just doesn't feel good to play, and the damage is just not there. It's not good. Let's move over to my preferred spec. And the spec I'm going to recommend you play Marksman. Sentinel. I like Sentinel more by default, just because you can kind of play around with the Night Elf focused fantasy. Like, I pretend that Gua's pet dragon hatchling, Ticker. I pretend that he's the one going around spotting targets and spewing laser beams out of his mouth. See, you can be creative. You can make it like have a goblin flair to it, despite Blizzard's very strong attempts to make you feel otherwise. Oh, before I forget. I almost did forget. 1 second. Let's go back to the talent tree. Just to kind of demonstrate. Let's switch this back to Dark Ranger. One of the first talents. Auto shot has an 8% chance to grant death blow. That is such a big thing. And they just took it out. Why? Someone doesn't like hunters, I suppose. I don't even think that's in beta. Because that's actually a really good talent. That's one of the reasons why it's really good in live right now. Oh, he's better for single target. No, of course it's gone. Can't have anything good, mind you. All right, let's get rid of all of these. Because if it's bad on on Dark Ranger, imagine how it is in freaking Sentinel. So Sentinel has a number of changes. Catch Out, a really good CC ability is gone. And you know what? I'm going to agree with that one. Catch Out is really dumb. You have the audacity to attack someone when you have Sentinel stacks. Well, now you can't move for 4 seconds. Enjoy. Really dumb ability. So I'm okay with that being removed. It is just a lot more damage now. Mind you, it's also armor-piercing damage, because a lot of these do arcane damage. You gain more crit chance for consuming precise shots. You get more chances to proc precise shots. Now called Sentinel Owl. Gives you even more cooldown reduction on aim shot. They really want you to just cast aim shot and nothing else. And the one big ability they have, well, Dark Ranger has Wailing Arrow. Sentinel gets Moonlight Chakram. Now, Chakram was one of my favorite abilities in Shadowlands. It was really fun. It's a really, really cool ability. I forget when it was first introduced. I want to say BFA? I think. I could be wrong on that one. But no, I love the Chakram. And it's kind of similar to how it was. Like, it bounces around, and it dealt more damage the more it bounces. This does too. Guarantees you get lock and load, and does a lot of damage in its own right. And then we also have Lunar Storm. Lunar Storm has been changed a bit. It's no longer this big AoE that follows targets around. It now just does more damage whenever you consume Sentinel's one. So again, you're just casting aim shot. So this takes the one strength that Marksmanship currently has, which is aim shot. And it's just like, well, if you're busy casting aim shot, well, by golly, we're going to make aim shot do more damage for you. So let's go ahead and give this a few spins real quick. Now, What's a precise shots build? Because Sentinel also gets. Let me see if I can find it here. Here we are. Precise shots bonus damage. Damage bonus increased by 40%. Just for free. Just for free. You do more precise shot damage, which is huge because it's not just the other precise shot damage that is 40%. Means your aim shots actually hit harder than kill shots. It hit harder than Black Arrow, which is wild. Absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, why even cast either of those abilities? There's no reason to. Pop true shot.
I can't drink anymore yet.
We do so much. Which, by the way, Sentinel also gets a longer shot duration. Like, it's so heavily slanted to Sentinel now. And it's like they were pretty close. They're still pretty close in the war with it. Like, I believe Dark Ranger does around 9% more single target damage on average. And it's like 9%, it's not that big of a difference. And I feel like Sentinel Bill brings a number of benefits. Like here in Midnight, it's just night and day. Like it is so much better than Dark Ranger. Dark Ranger is bad. Like flat out. So, coming Midnight, I imagine almost everyone will be playing Sentinel. You're still going to have some Dark Rangers, some like the fantasy. And I mean, it's going to be an Elven-themed expansion by the looks of it. So, you know, you're going to have some Dark Rangers in there. Sylvanas is going to be in there, so you know. It may cause some conflicts if you're wearing a Sylvanas cosplay, but, you know, work it out. I think that's all I have to say about Markmanship. Oh, and Hunter's Mark. 3% more damage. Dog, no one's bringing... Like, let me compare it to you. We bring Hunter's Mark. Shamans. Shamans can bring a mastery buff. 2% mastery buff. That also gives you a chance to do an extra attack. Warriors, 10% more damage. Or is it 5%? It's one of those numbers. It's more damage than shot. You take away our CC, and you're like, oh, surely if we rework Hunter's Mark, that will encourage people to bring marksman hunters, except for the fact that it's only on one target. And this target dies, we have to reapply it, and it's also on the global cooldown. It's a shorter duration on the GCD, but it's still on there. It still delays you. It's like there's so many things wrong with this spec. And let me tell you, I've done a number of dungeons. I've done a number of PvP instances. Like I got the Slayer's Rise quest done. I took part in that beta. And a lot of it is me just standing still, casting aim shots, eating AoEs, and just watching. Like I did duels with Druid and a Shaman. Druid could actively just run away. Or even better, they could cast Cyclone and then just heal. And of course, I know Druids have a disarm. They have Fairy Fire. That disarms in 5 seconds. So it's just like, I can't do anything against that. I can only move while casting an aim shot. And I have Aspect of the Cheer. And of course, that's on a 2-minute CD. I can make it 130. That's still a pretty lengthy CC. Or CD, rather. Like, you can do a lot in PvP in 2 seconds. A whole lot. Hell, if you're particularly smart about it, you'll just out damage aim shot and just wail on someone's face. Like, that's the big problem with Hunter. You're a turret. You are a DPS turret. You're going to be standing still, casting this. And that's all you're going to be doing. That's it. You're an aim shot bot. And unlike a warlock, you don't bring any cool, fancy toys or anything. You're just there for chaos bolts, shots, whatever you want to call it. That's all you do. And you're going to eat a lot of AoEs, and there's going to be a number of things that will knock you out of your aim shot. Other players are either going to counter it by going around a pillar, they're going to stun you, or they're going to disarm you, or they're going to do something to you, including just walking up to your face like a shaman. I brought up the shaman earlier. It's just going to drop a static cling totem and just beat your face in. And they have on-demand heals. We have one heal on a 1-minute CD. Like, what are we going to do about that? Like, I can't think of any instance where we will survive against any other class one-on-one with the amount of tools that we now no longer have. You see, even the pup agrees. He's chiming in. He ain't a fan of it either. And it's so frustrating because I want to be positive. I want to be like, I am so 100% pumped for midnight. You know? But it's really hard to do when your favorite spec in the game is just getting slaughtered. Like, not nerfed, slaughtered. It is going to be one of the least played specs in the game. I guarantee you. Dead Ranger, yeah. We're just going to call it Dead Ranger now. It's going to be unplayed. Save for the super diehards. I don't know why they're making the changes they're making. And I've posted on the forums, a lot of people more experienced than me, better than me, higher end players, they've posted on the forums. We've all made our feedback known. Not one person in those forums had anything to say that's positive about the marksmanship changes. And yet here we are. It's frustrating because it makes me wonder what's the point of the test. You know, just to be excited about what's to come, just to get acclimated to what changes are coming. What's the point of this? What good did this test bring? You know? I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's annoying. I mean, I'm going to play through it. Gua is a marksmanship hunter. That's his character. That is a big part of his character. Through thick and thin, you know? He's going to be working on making a better future. Even if his reflexes and his ability to shoot things has been horribly nullified. And he's getting old, I guess. No, I think that's all I got. Like I said, I'm excited for Midnight. I think it's going to be fun. There's a lot of good things going for it. Marksmanship Hunter just happens to be one of those things that's being changed around for no good reason. You can't use bloat because there's plenty of bloat still in the spec, as I've shown through the talent trees. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Do not get it one bit. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this comes out a bit more clearer than my previous video did. Also, I hope you liked the improved quality. I hated that last video was like 10 FPS or something. It was not good. For this channel, expect some more Midnight content to come. I don't have anything to really record in the War Within right now. I've already achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I don't know. I'll think of something. Thanks for watching. See y'all later. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And have a great year. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. And take care. See you later.